Hello and welcome to Retailer Assistant eCommerce. Retailer Assistant eCommerce is a software system which integrates Retail Pro with Shopify online e-commerce services. We like Shopify. We like Shopify because it's good, it's easy to use, it's a good way for merchants to enter into the intimidating world of e-commerce. It's got a nice user interface. It integrates well with social media, and you can get your online store up and running quite quickly with Shopify. So the general idea is that you have a physical store and you have Retail Pro running at that physical store. You have customers coming and going. You have your physical inventory there in the store being affected by what's happening on the ground. And then you have your online store. And we have several goals. We have several goals before us. First of all, we need to get the physical inventory, the inventory that's in Retail Pro, we need to get it into Shopify. We've got to get it in there in an easy way that's not intimidating, that's efficient, and that's quick. And then secondly, the second goal is that what's happening in the physical store, particularly your inventory quantities and your prices, what's happening there at the store needs to be reflected in your online store, so that if quantities change or if prices change, they will also, within minutes, be reflected in your online store. Another goal is that you have your online sales in Shopify reflected in Retail Pro. They need to come down into Retail Pro in detail so that the items that you've sold online, the shipping method, the shipping costs, the taxes that are applied, as well as the payments that are made, all that needs to come down into sales orders or receipts, as the case may be, into Retail Pro. So that at the end of the day, in Retail Pro, in one place, you can see and track your physical sales, your online sales, your sales order activity, and your inventory management, your inventory activity. And you can do it all there in Retail Pro being the master database, and Shopify sort of following the lead of what's happening in your Retail Pro database. So before we accomplish these goals, we need to clarify a little bit of a language difference, concept difference between Retail Pro and Shopify. If you go into your merchandise inventory screen in Retail Pro, you're going to see a list of individual items. And of course, those items are associated as styles if they have the same vendor code and DCS code and description. But they will differ in size and attributes. Well, Shopify does it a little bit differently. If you go into Shopify, the way they handle their products is or inventory is by the word product. Okay, when you see the word product in Shopify, that is pretty much the same thing as a style. So when you see a list of your inventory under the product screen, you're just going to see the style as one item. And then when you go into that product, or style as Retail Pro calls it, when you go into that, you're going to see variants. Okay? You see these are variants of that product. So when you're thinking in terms, when you're thinking in Shopify, you're thinking in terms of products and variants. When you're in Retail Pro, you're thinking of items and styles. So products relates to the style of Retail Pro, and the variant refers to the individual item within that style. So obviously what that means is that you don't want to just dump your Retail Pro inventory into Shopify. If you were just to dump your retail inventory straight into Shopify, you would just have a list of products, and each of these styles, each of these items within the style would show up as an individual product. So we have to associate them together when we bring them into Shopify. That presents a challenge to the task of bringing in inventory into Shopify from Retail Pro. So how do we accomplish this? Here is the Retailer Assistant eCommerce user interface for handling your inventory. Now, let me just give you a quick overview of what you're looking at. On the left part of this screen, you're going to see the same thing that's in Retail Pro of those items that you've chosen to bring in. And so these are just a list of Retail Pro items here. And on the right side is your Shopify inventory screen. Okay, so notice here we have two Shopify products. We have the Birkenstock Arizona sandal, and we have the double face knit trucker hat. So if I were to go into, when I go over to the Shopify screen and I bring up my products, you're going to see the same thing there. Okay, so I've got my Birkenstock sandal, my knit trucker hat there. Okay, so you're going to see a correspondence in Retailer Assistant on this pane here to the Shopify. So this pane over here is your Retail Pro inventory, and on the right is going to be the Shopify inventory. Also notice in the left pane of the display there, the Retailer Assistant user interface, the leftmost column has an indicator of whether or not that item has been uploaded into Retail Pro. So you notice the Birkenstock Arizona sandal list there of those items. You'll see posted next to them. If you see an asterisk, that means that it has yet to be posted. So this will become more clear to you as I just do a quick demo of creating a style or uploading a style into Shopify as a product. So I'm just going to scroll down here and find a smaller style. Let's have a look at this cashmere cable knit beanie. So I'm just going to mark these. Okay. Whenever you want to upload something, in the left pane you will mark them, and on the right side notice we have two panes. We have a product pane, which is more of an overview, a general overview of what's happening. You also have a tab called Variants, and this is where you work with your styles in Retail Pro. So you can bring the variants, the style as variants into Retail Pro. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to extract those three items that I've marked by clicking the Extract Style key there. And now I have the title and I have the body. I can fill that in as I wish. I also have the vendor. I might want to manipulate that. I've got product type here, which is going to be a hat, and I can put tags for Shopify, Google searches, the hat, casual, I don't know, cashmere. Okay, so that's up to you how you want to do that. And now I have a style ready to be uploaded. Okay, so I've extracted the style. So now I'm going to post the style. Oh, I also want to add something to the body. Okay, nice cashmere hat, something like that. And now that's more of a descriptive, verbal description of the item for the Shopify post. All right, for the Shopify product. Now I'm going to post this style, It's asking me if I'm sure. I'm ready to do it. And away it goes. So what's happening now is Retailer Assistant is accessing the Shopify database, uploading these items into the Shopify database, creating a product with these variants. It is also editing the Retail Pro database as well, so that there's an association between these items so that the two databases can communicate with each other. All right, so if I scroll down to that item, you notice it says Cashmere Cable Knit Beanie. It is posted, so it's there. If I go into my products list, I can see that it's posted here, Cashmere Cable Knit Beanie. And if I go into my product screen, I should see it there. Okay. Now notice it has posted the product. It's also on the right, you can see it has 25 in stock for 3 variants. Okay. Cashmere Cable Knit Beanie. If I click on this product, I will go to the details of that product. See, it brought the body in as well, Cashmere Cable Knit Beanie. Now if I go down to my variants, I can see that I've brought in the size and the attributes, the price for that beanie, as well as the quantity. Okay. The quantities that are in Retail Pro have also been brought up. Okay. So that's loading a style. Okay, let's say that you don't want to post items as styles. You just want to post them as individual products. Okay, you might have in your list of items lots of items that are not associated together as a style. So I'm just highlighting a few that I can see here. Various chairs here, and some perfume and paddleboard and that sort of thing. So I've just marked these individually to be brought into Shopify as products, as individual products without variants. All right. In order to do that, I can just highlight the ones I want to bring in, or I can highlight a block of items on the left side, and I just simply press Post Products button here on the right side. So are you sure? Yes, I am. So I'm just going to bring these items into Shopify as a block or as a batch of items I'm bringing in. Now, mind you, once they are in Shopify, you can edit them at your convenience. So you can go into Shopify if you want to change the title of it or the body of it, or you can add tags or your vendor code if you want to change that, if you want to just manipulate it however you want to once it's in Shopify. You can do that. It's not going to affect the association with the product or the item that's in Retail Pro. So it's doing it again. It's bringing that into the database of Shopify. It's also making those associations with Retail Pro, so that anything that happens in Retail Pro to these items, they will also be reflected in Shopify. All right. Okay, so you can see that those items have posted as individual products. Now we have a few other features here. Getting images into Shopify is pretty easy to do both ways. I mean, you can bring images through the user interface of Shopify itself, but I've also added a post image feature. So if I want to bring something into Shopify through this user interface, I can. And the way to do that is to highlight the product. So I'm just going to highlight the double-faced knit trucker hat here, and I'm going to say post image. And that's going to bring up a prompt for me to pick out something, and I'll just pick out this little guy right here and post it, and away it goes. And now that image has been attached to the product. So when I go into my products page, I should be able to see that. There it is, the double-faced knit trucker hat, and it has been uploaded. Now from here you can apply different images to the variants that are within that product. In this case there's only one variant of the product. So, but within styles you can have different images that can be applied in case you have different colors of that product. Another feature that I want to highlight here before we move on is the search feature. A lot of times in Retail Pro, you've probably noticed that the items that are listed that are in the same style are not necessarily in proximity to each other. They might be there might be a part of the style in one part of the list and another part of the style in another part of the list. But with the search feature, you can automatically highlight those styles. So if I do a search of knit tailored and do a search of that, it's going to find everything in the list that has that those search keywords. Okay, so then from there you can go and just go straight to your variants or to your variants pane, extract that style and post it. So that's some basic functionality. There are a few other features here that I want to call to your attention. You can also add variants to your products that are on Shopify. So if you've gotten some new colors, a shipment of new colors of a particular style, you can add those to the existing style that's in the existing product that's in Shopify. You can also delete variants as well. So let's say I've got one here that I don't like being in there. These look okay, but I'm just going to do it for the sake of demonstration. I can take this variant out by deleting that variant. Sometimes you want to take things out without taking the whole product down. You can just take one variant out. I'll just do that real quickly here. I'm going to delete this last variant of the Birkenstock Arizona sandal. So it's removing that and it's done. So if I go back in there, it's not going to be there anymore. So 23 is there, but not 24. So, and you notice that this one is not posted anymore. So when I go into my products over here and I look at my Birkenstock sandal, it's not going to be there. So that particular one is not going to be there. Let's see which one that one was. It was the 10.5, size 10.5, and size 10.5 is not going to be there anymore. So of that particular color, I think the taupe color, yeah, the taupe 10.5 is no longer there. So you can delete your variants, add variants. You can also delete your products here as well. So if I want to just delete the entire product with all of its variants, I can click the delete product button and it will take care of all the variants as well. So that's a general overview of this user interface, the functionality of this user interface. There are a few other detailed features that you might be interested in, and we can answer those questions. Now let's talk about Retailer Assistant eCommerce continuously linking together what's happening on the ground at your physical store with your Shopify store online. So let's begin with quantities of your merchandise. I'm going to focus on this one just for demonstration purposes, a double-faced knit trucker hat, which has a quantity of 7. And when we go online and have a look at that same item, notice that it has a quantity of 5. The reason why there are 5 online and 7 in Retail Pro is because there are some sales orders against that item, which means that there are 2 committed quantities of this particular item. So the calculation of 7 minus 2, of course, is 5, and that's what you're seeing here. Retailer Assistant considers the committed quantities and calculates those committed quantities into what it posts on Shopify. So we have an available quantity here showing of 5. All right. So let's go to simulate. Let's simulate a change in quantity of this item. All right. So we're going to change it from 7 to 6. All right. I'm going to save that just for simulation purposes. We're pretending that someone has purchased this item and has changed this item quantity. So we go to this little pane here, which allows you to interact with what's going on between the two databases. And I can click this button here, Update Shopify. So I'm updating Shopify, away it goes. Now this is always happening in the background on a continuous basis through the auto synchronization, which you can enable that by clicking that box right there. That is what allows it to automatically synchronize it on an ongoing basis throughout the day. Okay, so now let's have a look and see what is happening online. We have a quantity of 5 on this page, but when I refresh this page of Shopify of this item, notice that it has changed to a quantity of 4. We have an on-hand quantity on the shelf of 6, but there are 2 committed quantities of that item. Now let's talk about how orders are handled by Retail Pro e-commerce. Let's open up our console and notice that we have a selection of the Retail Pro order type. This means that we can have your Shopify orders come down as a sales order with deposit or as a receipt. For our demonstration purposes, we're going to have them come down as sales orders with a deposit. So I've created a Shopify order here to a person named Robert Jones, a fictitious person, with an address, and he's chosen a pair of Birkenstock sandals. All right, we got our shipping, we've got our taxes here. So he's going to pay with a credit card, a fictitious credit card. And we will charge that amount and complete his order. Okay, so now this order has been created in Shopify, and we can go and get that order. Now, when auto synchronization is enabled, those orders are picked up every 60 minutes in this case. You can have it go after them every 40 minutes, or you can have it go after every 20 minutes, or you can turn it off and just do it manually. So we're just going to get this one manually for the purposes of our demonstration. We're going to get that order, and away it should go and pick up that order. Okay, so let's have a look and see how that came down. Go to our sales orders. And there's our order to Robert Jones. Okay. There's the item. We have our tax information coming down. Okay. We have the actual taxes for the area that the customer lives in, the shipping address. So it calculated these taxes according to these percentages. And then we go to our shipping. We can see his address information. We can see the shipping line that is used, and we can see the shipping cost. Okay. We can also go over to our deposits. We can see that he's made a deposit against that sales order. Retailer Assistant tracks customers by email address. All Shopify orders are required to have an email address, and those email addresses are brought down into Retail Pro. Retailer Assistant will detect if an email address already exists in the database. If it does, then it's going to attach that order, that sales order, to that customer with that email address. If it does not exist, then it will bring in the customer as a new customer. So that's it. That's Retailer Assistant e-commerce. If you'd like to know more about this product, please feel free to call our sales associates or even our technicians. We can give you more information about how you can quickly and easily get your e-commerce store up and running. Don't be intimidated. If you're new to the world of e-commerce, Shopify has made it quite easy to set up your online store. They've made it quick and intuitive. You can also, through their user interface, set up all your payment providers, your checkout experience for your customers, shipping methods, and your arrangements for getting your products to your customers. Also, your taxes are managed quite easily, among other things. So please feel free to give us a call if you'd like to know more. Thanks for watching.